And welcome to Everyday Hip Hop. My name is Cayman,
And I'm Xavier.
and we are here live virtually on the Black Ambition Media YouTube channel. So do us a favor, make sure you like and subscribe on the bottom. Xavier, the Super Bowl just happened. We saw Bad Bunny perform in front of, I think he broke the record. I don't know if he broke the record. I saw some stuff say 135 million views. I saw others say 133 million views. Regardless of how many views it was, that Bad Bunny performance was great in my estimation. What did you think about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl?
I thought it was completely amazing. He went just as far to put on his people, just as far to put on Puerto Rico as I could imagine. Completely blew my expectations out the water. By far the most visually appealing Super Bowl performance I've ever seen. Whoever was in charge of them camera angles,
They did it.
they
They
need
did
a
it.
raise. Like
They did it.
parts of it literally just looked like I was watching a TV show. And
Yes.
then we would go back into the performance. I was literally transported to Puerto Rico, and I loved that aspect of it. Just forcing people who would otherwise truly not care or never experience something like that, and just making them recognize that you are a real person. Especially when we live in a country run by Trump currently, and we know a lot of people who watch football, a lot of people who have the money to attend those Super Bowl um, events most likely lean to the conservative side. And we've had to listen to Trump have some very, very bad takes on Puerto Rico, from them being dirty to them being R words. So to have an artist of that magnitude like a Bad Bunny, force white people to learn what a Paragua is, hey, I'm here for it. So I loved everything about the performance. Like you said, I did see about 135 million, the highest grossing performance since about 2018. Don't remember who performed in 2018 though. But I saw he beat your boy Kendrick by about 2 million.
Beat Kendrick by 2 million. We're taking this thing global though. Like respect to Kendrick and respect to Bad Bunny for two great Super Bowl performances the last couple years. These are some performances that I can debate throughout time. Now Prince and Mike still have one and two to me as far as ranking Super Bowl performances, but Bad Bunny and Kendrick Lamar as far as representation, as far as imagery and a feeling that they provoked out of me. I want to give kudos to both of those gentlemen. When you talk about inviting somebody into your culture, a lot of things that Xavier, maybe me and you already knew about the Latino culture, but put on display in on the biggest forum of them all, the Super Bowl. It, like you said, the most visually appealing Super Bowl of all time. I would definitely have to agree with you there. What Bad Bunny was able to do as far as inviting people into his culture and telling a story was bar none. Starting out in the fields, like what? We starting out in the fields. We going to dancing. We going to the corner store. We going to the family oriented things that we saw. People getting married. We saw the kid. He giving the kid a Grammy and stuff like that. There were so many parts on here that was like, yeah, I understand that culture, even being black. I also saw some other black people on this Super Bowl performance as far as dancers goes. So just the mixture of what we are as far as black people with the Latino community was bar none exemplary to see on the biggest stage of them all in front of everybody. And do I care about what the white people got to say? Do I care about the white people that turned the TV to Turning Point USA to listen to who? Some of
Kid
them,
Rock.
Kid Rock, and some of them washed white people, and I'm sweating right now like a Baptist preacher. But do I care about what them white people have to say? Can you bring me a towel? Do I care about what them white people what them white people had to say at all? No, I don't. Because you guys don't understand culture, you guys don't know culture, and you're unseasoned. to say the
Right.
least.
Hey, amen. And frankly, if white people felt any other way than how they felt at the end of Kendrick Lamar's performance, I would frankly think he didn't go hard enough. And and I think that also goes double to show that it's really never what they say it is. Everything's always a big dog whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Bunny being a primarily Spanish speaking performer, um, the biggest gripe people had with Bad Bunny performing was not speaking Spanish, because they had that same problem with Kendrick Lamar, who spoke
Rap.
very fluent English. And
Yeah.
it was just rapping. So the language is not the
It was
problem.
just
It's
rap.
about who is on the stage.
Yeah.
And if you with a straight face can tell me that you preferred that bland, somber turning point performance in comparison to Bad Bunny, oh, you're just a racist, and it's
Cause,
okay.
cause Xavier, I didn't understand the word, and it's like, okay, if you want to understand like Spanish, okay, that's another thing. Like, you can go on Google Translate and like translate some of the words and do all that due diligence. There's something about music, Xavier. There's something about a story you're telling and visually what you gave us. That was more than enough. I was blown away visually about what I saw without even knowing a damn word about what Bad Bunny was saying. That's the magic in what he was doing on that stage on Super Bowl Sunday. He told us a story. We definitely could understand the story if you were open to that. Just based on visually what he gave us. That's why I would have to agree with you that it's visually the best Super Bowl performance ever.
Yes, and like you said, if you're receptive to the messaging, then it's hard to miss it.
It's
And
hard.
as far as just being visually appealing, I think that just goes along with just the overall messaging of this performance. It was very hard to misinterpret what Bad Bunny was trying to get across. When we have people like Jake Paul, who after the Super Bowl want to talk about, or excuse me, before the Super Bowl want to
What'd
call
he
Bad
say?
Bunny. He
What'd
called
he
Bad
say?
Bunny a fake American. Cause came
Jake Paul, the
most
same
people.
person that got beat up by Anthony Joshua, his ass should be quiet.
That's why he was tweeting it. He
The
still can't
gimmick
talk
is
like
up.
that yet.
Yeah. The
He still
jaw
can't.
still broke.
He still can't talk that good yet. So yeah, he had to tweet it. But frankly, I think Jake Paul is a good pulse for the average ignorant white person. They don't know Puerto Rico's is a. They don't know Puerto Rico a part of the states. Well, Jake Paul do, because he moved to Puerto Rico to avoid paying taxes. So
Oh,
so
I think
he
that was his brother. So maybe he should talk to his brother. How about that? I think it was Logan. I think Logan did that.
hey,
Whichever one.
one of these Caucasians. But all I know is shout out to Bad Bunny, the true American. He alongside with just putting Puerto Rico on, he put all of Latin America on and forced people to deepen their perspective of what they think of America. It's not just the United States of America. There's South America.
Right.
All a plethora of countries that nobody here could really give two shits about.
Yeah.
And Bad Bunny just put them on the biggest worldwide
Did
stage.
you
So
like when he said "God bless America" and then like went over all the Latin countries? That
'cause he had him in the first half.
yes, he had
He
him
had
in the
him.
first half.
I know you heard
But
those cheers when he said that.
yeah,
When he said "God bless America," they said, "Finally, something I can understand." Oh, I can get behind that. Then he said Cuba. They said, "Ooh, I don't know about Cuba. Puerto who? Puerto
mm,
Vallarta." Mm-mm.
mm.
So I think he
And
did exactly what he needed to do.
it's crazy because what America is posted, and I'm Xavier. This is everyday hip hop. You know, we can get into our political bag if we want to get into our political bag, and we'll save that for the rising and some blam quick takes and some other things that we do. But we never shy away from politics. And I know this is a music podcast, but I want you guys to understand something right now. America is supposed to like what America is supposed to represent is this melting pot where each and every country, each and every person, no matter where they're from, is able to bring something to the table, and everybody is supposed to embrace that culture. But what do we see? What divisiveness do we see right now from number 47? What divisiveness do we see right now from the Republican Party? And it has to be said, If you didn't like the Bad Bunny performance, it's because you didn't want to understand the Bad Bunny performance. And if you don't understand the true basic concept of what America is supposed to be, which none of these white people are seeming to understand, then you're wrong on the ship, and we have to address it. I have to address you racist buffoons that sit on social media and say the wildest things, including your president, who is a part of that association. It's a damn problem. And shout out to Bad Bunny for just spreading the light on some of the things that are going on in America right now.
Shout out Benito.
Shout out Bonito. It made me want to learn some of them songs. Like, I don't know Bad Bunny songs. I'm telling you, Xavier, I don't know Bad Bunny songs.
Right, like I think I only knew 1 to 2 songs,
yeah,
max. But it was just a vibe, like
a vibe.
Like if you're not, I swear to God, if you're not xenophobic, music can be so good. You don't have to understand the words. Why do you think mumble rap took off? Ain't nobody knew what Young Thug was saying in Stoner. It was a vibe.
Also, don't think white people can feel the music. Like, some of them, yes.
That's not.
I don't think they can. They can't feel that music like we can feel that music. Like, the Latin community can feel that music. Like, we have a certain passion. Like, I'm thinking about gospel and church and music like that. Like, the type of music that we have, exactly, we feel that ish. We feel it in our bones, in our core. Some of these hits, that's why Not Like Us was so like big, because we felt Not Like Us. Like, some of these records, we feel it. And for Bad Bunny and what he did for his culture, and not only his culture but for the world, we could feel the messaging right there. So shout out to Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Well, if that's the case, I can get it then, because if I wanted to listen to a song with no feeling, I for sure put some Kid Rock on. So it makes sense. It makes sense.
It makes sense for the 3 million people that tuned in to that Turning Point USA.
I'm surprised that many did.
Show. I mean, it's
3 million
white people
still,
in the United
but
States.
I mean, 3,135 million. Oh, I'm sorry. I saw even Trump was watching it. His cabinet was watching it. Sophia showed me a clip of somebody at the Super Bowl who was watching the Turning Point performance on their phone, though, with headphones on.
Yeah, I saw that.
You're like,
White
as soon
woman.
as they turned them cameras off, you started watching that Bad Bunny. They just doing it for the clips.
White woman being performative. And let's talk about performative chasing. I said chasing, but changing topics, Xavier. Let's talk about performative. I feel like J. Cole was very performative with his last album, but that's neither here nor there. I want to get into some of these topics. I say this a lot about you and Cabria mainly. I feel like I give the leeway to you and Cabria especially to go off. I think that you and Cabria are amazing podcasters, and you guys are masters of conversations. You guys do a lot where I'm in awe looking back at the film as the editor. Just in the editor space, I look back and say, dang, Cabria or Xavier killed that performance as far as y'all displaying your podcast ability on full force. I want to say one thing about me, though. I dropped 45 points on the J. Cole Fall Off review. I think I did very, very well in emphasizing my points and getting people to a consensus of what I was saying. The Fall Off album to me was very underwhelming, and I think I did a very, very good job in explaining my points on why I thought it was very, very, very underwhelming. J. Cole dropped the Fall Off, and to me, one of my biggest pet peeves with it was that we had this big anticipation. I'm talking about records that had nothing to do with the Fall Off and J. Cole, but he was on a feature run. And during those records, while he was on a feature run on a random song, Xavier, I'm not talking about anything related to what he was doing, on a random song, J. Cole would mention that he has this fall off album. This man said on Might Delete Later, a mixtape that came out in 2024 before the Kendrick and Drake beef and everything that happened in his apology. He said the fall off is like Jay-Z dropping Reasonable Doubt at the end of his career. These are the words of J. Cole and not myself. So I hear these things and I hear the anticipation that J. Cole has been stirring for years and years and years when it comes to this fall off album. I'm ready to hear J. Cole's magnum opus of his career, his best work, something that he's been working on for 10 years. And I hear what I hear. Yes, a lot of people have been saying I've been hating on J. Cole based on my takes. But I'm trying to understand how a album that took you 10 years was that. Something that we've heard from you before. And something like a Might Delete Later, I can say, was a better project in your catalog than your last work that you said is going to be like Jay-Z dropping Reasonable Doubt. He put a lot of anticipation and hype on this album. The reaction is the reaction. This man is out in his Honda Civic doing promo, picking people up, selling his CDs for $1. But you said J. Cole reaction when we said we were going to talk about some stuff tonight. What's your reaction based on the album being out for about a week and just how everybody is reacting to the album right now?
So I just wanted to get back on here because apparently I didn't react hard enough. I I left away with that video like, man, I need to text Cam and like cut a couple pieces of this out. I was really hating. Man, I felt bad. I didn't, ain't nobody need to get on Cole that hard. It was good. It was good bars. Man, I saw 5.5s. I saw Pitchfork gave him a 5 and 6. I'm like,
Yeah.
Joe Budden had to turn it off mid song. I'm like, they're going, okay, it's not just me. Like, yes, of course, this is J. Cole, one of the biggest rappers, if not the biggest rapper in the world currently. Of course, he's going to have a large part of his fan base out here rocking for him. And it's an album good enough to rock for. But if you're willing to cop please for this album, there's enough please to cop you to keep you warm through the winter. I'm telling you.
Amen. They out here. They out there.
But if you just want to keep it a buck, keep it straight up, just use your big boy brain. If I told you, first of all, out of my own free will, you didn't ask. I didn't have to tell you. A decade ago, I was like, hey, bro, I'm about to drop this project. I'm about to drop this album. Oh, when? Don't even worry about it. It's going to be soon, though. Tick, tock, tick. 10 years later, practically. Hey, man, I dropped this project. Man, you finally dropped this project? You've been killing these features for the last 10 years. You've solidified yourself as the best rapper in the last 10 years. And I know we had a little bit of hiccups along the way. I know we had a little grippy. I know we had a couple slip-ups.
Grippy.
I know we had a couple slip-ups along the way, but most importantly, Cole, I'm glad we finally have this project to send you off and send your bike off into the woods with. You listen to this project,
yeah,
and you practically have to force yourself to stay awake.
Yes.
Not because it's boring.
Yes.
But because it's boring. Like, keep it straight up. This album is a movie, bro. An hour and 47 minutes of J. Cole in the most monotone voice I have ever heard in my entire life. Yeah. And if it wasn't for artists like Tim's and Future, this album is borderline unlistenable. And that sounds so harsh to say because if you just listen to a certain song, if you just listen to drum and bass, if you just listen to a certain song independently on its own, yes, this sounds like the Cole you know and love. This sounds like an amazing song. Great bars, but another one and another one. 24 tracks of practically the same thing. I wrote it down.
I had to write the notepad out. Nigga got the notepad out.
I had to write it down. I'm just gonna briefly talk about, these are my 8 favorite songs.
Okay.
Off of a double disc hour and
Double disc.
47-minute album.
Yep.
I have 8 songs that I walked away with that I may listen to again. And these 8 songs, I still have something to say, Cole. What are we doing? To start off, if J.
Okay.
Cole wouldn't give me at least 2 to 3 songs with biracial bars, I'll give you a biracial bar then. Love Her Again is a gentrified Gloria. And it's not even and just like a gentrification, I'm tired of the Starbucks, Cole. Get it out of my face, Cole. I don't want it, Cole. 2, Old Dog. Okay, it's a great song. Shout out PD Pablo. I love that
Shout
song.
out PD Pablo.
The Villist.
The sigh.
They gonna respect the mulatto.
The sigh.
Back to the biracial bars.
Fuck out of here with that.
But outside of that, it still is a great melody, and I love the nod to Outkast. I wish, I believe Erykah Badu's on that song.
Yeah.
I wish.
Is that? Yeah.
I wish it was noticeable. I wish it was noticeable. You had one of the greatest of all time on your song.
Do you know how to put somebody on a hook and make it like? That's what I'm saying. Like,
bro, and I think that's a perfect leeway into what's the track he had with Future and Tim's
something
Brunson Road.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got the dang. Brunt's Road Blues. Brunt's Road Blues is a perfect example of, hey, a feature is not a bad thing. A feature can turn a song from unlistenable to a complete bop. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't gotta do everything on your own. And I'm tired of you Cole fans riding on the coattails of 2014 Forest Hill Drops like that wasn't 12 years ago. He obviously can't do it no more. The first half of Brunt's Road Blues, nigga, unlistenable. That is an amazing beat. That is not a beat that needs to be over 3 minutes long. Hell nah. And the fact that I gotta listen to 2.5 minutes of just Cole on that before getting Tim's, I'm cutting the first 2.5 minutes
and then
off. Delete.
And then something on this record, like Future did the great melody on it, but saying it's 7 o'clock on the dot, I'm in my drop top. You recite some Usher on a nigga's magnum opus. We're talking about Reasonable Doubt, which is the album that put Jay-Z on the map, Xavier. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about Reasonable Doubt. And J. Cole said that the fall off is like Jay-Z dropping Reasonable Doubt as his last album, his debut album as his last album, the best. And we got Future reciting Usher. And then he actually being the best, some of the best parts of the song. And then Tim comes in and saves the song. This is what 100%. We're talking about as one of the better songs on your album. This is what happens with it.
100%. Because honestly, because when you're thinking about a project like this, when you think about a project in general, there needs to be at least one standalone record that could, gravitate outside of just the hip hop community.
Right.
This Tim's record, honestly, I would say Tim's record, I don't really know. Maybe just the Tim's record. Maybe
what
really
else is
just
translating?
The Tim's record.
What else is translating for one of the best hip hop lyricists that we have in the game? One of the upper echelon acts that we have in hip hop right now that has every single resource on his fingers. This is the only maybe record that we have that can be transferred to people that outside of the landscape of hip hop. Are you telling me that?
And it's gonna take some editing, like dead ass. Like if it was the latter half of that song, starting with Tim's, like playing with Tim's, playing off of Cole, I honestly love that. But why do I have to wait 3 minutes into a 4.5 minute song to finally open my eyes and be wowed?
Yeah.
Like, it was just a huge miss to me and a huge waste of an amazing record. And on top of that, hey yo, Cole, you had a vocal a vocal powerhouse at your disposal with Ari Lennox.
Cause she was on my
I
delete later.
Loved Tim's.
She was on my delete later, but she wasn't on this project because she left Dreamville's ass.
I love Tim's.
So in the 10 years, did you not talk to Ari Lennox? Did you not talk to JID? Did you not talk to Boz? Did you not talk to none of these niggas that you had that are mega talents on your label to help you with this Fall Off album? You only talk to yourself and T minus?
I mean, because who else is gonna tell my story besides me? Anybody could tell this story, Cole. All you said is lonely at the top and I don't want to be famous no more. I can't go home without people being nigga, no shit. You are the biggest rapper in the world. Am I surprised you can't go back to your hometown and pump gas without being recognized?
Right. What did Kendrick say?
Duh.
Yesterday, somebody whacked out my mural. That energy it make you niggas move to Europe. Like
It made Cole say, man, I be going back to Fayetteville and it don't even feel the same no more. What he said? I'm driving around the city looking to hold on to a memory of the distance. He don't even want to be home no more. And I don't want to say it like it's like something surprising. Like, hey, niggas go home and get shot every day. Rest in peace to Young Dolph.
Yes.
But I'm just confused on why Cole is having this realization at the end of his career when he has been around Drake. He has been around Kendrick Lamar. He has been around Jay-Z. He has been around the biggest artist. Why is J. Cole now surprised that I can't just ride my bike without being recognized? I can't just go. There's certain expectations that people have on me. Right. I think that's all it is. Cole wanted the fame without ever having to leave his room. Cole, you are in the world. And people are going to force their expectations on you, whether you like it or not. But continuing to run from that or treat it like it's some type of just gift of the curse that only happened to you, dude. Lonely at the Top, 2-6 niggas. There are at least 3 songs where Cole is talking about how he doesn't want to be the big guy anymore. But he also simultaneously is continuing to gaslight me that he is the one that removed himself from the battle.
That beef. Yeah.
That is the nastiest takeaway from this whole album is that Cole, on at least 2 to 3 songs, chose to gaslight me and play with my intelligence as if he decided to step away from the battle. He decided to fall off. You didn't fall off, buddy. We kicked your ass Spartan style off that roof because the fuck do you think you're doing right now? Not my hip hop. No. 6 out of 5. I stand on that shit. I said I was finna bump up to a 7.5 outright. No. 6.5.
I'm glad you stood on this, Xavier. I'm glad you stood on this because you was texting like maybe you gotta edit me like maybe like this is a good album and it's like okay it's good at rapping. It's okay rapping. Like I understand it's okay rapping. I have heard J. Cole verses harder than what I heard on this album. Again, I'm going to reference this. This nigga said the Fall Off is like Jay-Z dropping Reasonable Doubt as his last album. Do you guys understand that? The album we know Jay-Z for. He said that is equivalent to the Fall Off. I have expectations. And when Might Delete Later is better than the Fall Off. When Everything Is a Lot by Wale is better than the Fall Off. When I re-listen to Starline by Chance the Rapper and it's better than the Fall Off. When Let God Sort 'Em Out by the Clips is better than the Fall Off. When GNX by Kendrick Lamar is better than the Fall Off, I have questions as the consumer on why. Period. This nigga gave us a double disc. And he sounded more like I remember our review, like when I said the Big Sean thing, Xavier, I remember our review on Big Sean. Our Big Sean review was he didn't sound like he wanted to rap. We didn't hear that passion from Big Sean that we've heard throughout his career, and I feel like this is the same for Cole. I heard passion in Might Delete Later. I heard passion in how he talked and his influctuation and his flow and his cadence. This album sounded just like he didn't want to. It was monotone. It was like not like one-dimensional. Like, I didn't hear anything on this Fall Off album that grabbed me. I don't care if this album just came out. I don't care if you fans love it and want to cop for it. What we're not going to do is talk about this album as if it's one of them ones. I got more excited with this A$AP Rocky album that just came out than I got with the Cole album. If I'm getting more excited and listening back to an album like Chance the Rapper's that came out 6 months ago, and I can say this is a better element in music album, then there's a problem with that. Wale, Everything Is a Lot. There's a problem with that when we're talking. And that's all I'm saying. Xavier, I wanted to read some of these TikTok comments to you. As a producer, because I released the clip saying that he worked with T-Minus, himself, and Omen were the majority of the producers on this album. We had an Alchemist beat and things of that nature, but for the most part, it was just J. Cole. It was just T-Minus, and it was just Omen that had producer credits on this album. When somebody says this, see, this is why when I hear TikTok comments and when I hear stuff like get rid of podcast mics that I have right now and put tariffs on podcast mics, guess what? Number one, like you mentioned this to me. Number one, this shit costs a lot of money. I'm not just spewing shit on a mic and I have a soundboard right here. This shit costs money. First of all, it costs money to produce something like this. So let's get that clear. I'm not just saying shit out of my ass. Number two, none of you niggas could argue with me on this camera. Like, me and Xavier have been having hip hop conversations for 15 years almost. It's closer to 15 years than it is to 10, and it's closer to 10 than it is to 5 or 1. Me and Xavier have been having hip hop conversations since high school, and we're now 27, 28 years old, and our Lord and Savior's year of 2026. So there's no hip hop conversation or argument that I'm having that I, number one, don't truly believe, but I can't just put shit past Xavier and he'd be like, okay, that's cool. Like, we've been having these conversations for a long time, and I respect Xavier's opinion on hip hop. Number three, when I say shit, I mean it. I don't care if y'all don't want to hear it. I don't care if y'all think I'm just doing this. Somebody said I'm doing this for views. No, I really believe what I have to say. If I wanted just to sell out on some of the opinions, I would be a Republican right now. How about that? Them niggas need somebody. Them niggas need somebody like me on that campus, on that field, on that side. Nigga, I'll be for Republican right now if I actually just wanted to get paid for my opinions and wanted to get more views for my opinions. So I really believe this stuff about Cole. So when somebody says something like this, Xavier, as a producer, he says, this is the worst take ever. That's like telling MJ not to work with Quincy. So you're telling me right now that T-Minus, J. Cole producing his own beats, and Omen are the equivalent of what Quincy Jones was when he was working with Michael Jackson? Like, let's rethink your statement that you're saying, because it sounds dumb as hell. And this is why you niggas can't argue with me. Quincy Jones, the nigga that co-produced Thriller, the highest selling album of all time, worked on Bad, even though Michael Jackson wrote 9 out of 11 songs, worked on Off the Wall, and had an A, B, and C team of producers that worked on some of these records in different keys and different flows and different styles and different cadences. This is how they produced music back in the day, Xavier. This nigga had 3 different teams. You're telling me that nigga, that producer, is on par with T minus Omen and J. Cole himself producing his beats. That's what you're saying right there with that statement. You sound fucking stupid. Anyway, you want 20?
To produce one of these beats.
I might as well, because that sound. What was that last album that Earl dropped?
Okay.
No.
Live, laugh.
Yes.
Live, laugh, love. Or something
sounded
like that.
better in elements and music than this J. Cole album sounded. Yes, it did. Back to the comments. You want 20 different producers? Go for it and see how it sounds. You'll get like My Name Is My Name by Pusha T. Good, but not his greatest.
The fuck is this?
Y'all show me every day why we should ban podcast equipment. You're not even saying anything, sir. You're not saying anything. You're not explaining your opinion, and you can't beat me in my opinion because I understand music and you don't. How about that? Ban that shit. Ban your fucking stupid ass comment. Anyway, let me get back. Let me see. Let me center back. I'm sorry, guys. See?
See?
Somebody did say this, and I appreciated it. He said, I live near Fayetteville and know for a fact that there are some dope producers here. He is very proud of Faye. Not sure why he didn't reach out to some of them. And this is my only critique. There are some probably dope producers in Fayetteville. I love regional music, and we have heralded regional music. With that being said, for you to still work with the same producers that you've been working with and to give me the product of a rapper that I felt was uninspired in what he was saying on this Fall Off project, like, yes, there are some great records like Xavier mentioned. He has some great records on there. But you're not giving me a feeling that some of these other albums gave me. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's okay. This is Cole. This is a very Cole-coded album. But if he dropped this, whenever he dropped it, I would have probably the same criticisms that I have now on this album. Y'all are not gonna hype me up and gaslight me just because this is Cole's last album. That's all I got on it. That's all I got on it.
Do you think this will truly be his last albums? I've heard talks about It's a Boy.
Yeah, he says something on a comment forum or something like he wants to release It's a Boy. He doesn't think this is not his last. Like, he's hinted at this is not being his last album, even in the definition of the album. I mean, it's different now, but when it first dropped, it was something like he's back and makes him hungrier and he wants to come back or something like that. In that context, I don't think this is the last that we heard from J. Cole. I just need J. Cole to go away for a minute. I need J. Cole to really, and that's not no disrespect, but I just need him to be inspired in what he's doing. And if music is not his inspiration, if being at the top and being that number one is not his inspiration, if he's not a self-starter in that way, if he has to focus on his family and he has kids and a wife and a whole family, and shout out to that. Like, shout out to you having that base and that element. Like, yes, you should want a girl that's going to hold you down throughout your career. You should want to have that family and that whole base. But that's not going to stop me from my purpose. That's not going to stop me from having that hunger to want to be the greatest person that I am right now. Like, I'm going to do that by any means necessary. And I hope that person allows me and gives me the space to do that. With that being said, if you're not inspired, if I'm not hearing anything, like I heard flows and melodies and different things on that Might Delete Later project, Xavier. I heard like Fever is one of my favorite records on that project. That's Cole being melodic and trying some Drake shit in a way. Like, I remember our review on that, and you were like, yeah, that's kind of like some Drake shit that he's doing on Fever when he's doing like the melody stuff. But I also heard a record like Pie with Daylight and Ab-Soul, two lyricists that made him get out of bed. Like, they made him get out of bed. Who on the Fall Off made him get out of bed? There was nobody on the lyrical side that made him get out of bed, so how is he being challenged?
Only person that made J. Cole get out the bed on that album is Old Boy from Fayetteville, that one of his homies was contemplating putting him under for him.
Right.
Other than that,
nobody.
He made J. Cole say drop the low.
Right.
We finna get down.
Right.
Other than that, there was really no energy on this album. Like the biggest takeaways for me are "Love Her Again," 2-6, "Bombs in the Ville," drum and bass. Other than that, really, the replay value on this album is extremely low for me.
Extremely low.
Especially because you really got to designate a chunk of your day just to get through it and see what songs you want to add to your playlist, if any. Um, I just hope this isn't J. Cole's last project because, as we said in our last podcast, if you're just a new person to hip hop, if you start trying to learn more about J. Cole 5, 6, 7 years from now, and you go through this catalog, you're gonna be confused when you hear old heads talk about Cole. Like, oh, you just have to be there for it because, I mean, looking back, it is kind of mid.
Hey, you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person. I'm just saying that, like, I'm glad I re-listened to My Delete Later and he said that reasonable. Like, he said that, Xavier. He said, like, when I hear stuff like that, it's like, okay, I'm validating exactly what I felt. I was gaslit. I was gaslit through this whole rollout for the last 18 years. When I heard 1985, when he was dissing Lil Pump, and he originally said something about the fall off 8 years ago, I have been gaslit ever since from J. Cole and him saying stuff like what he was saying in that verse in 1985 and what he said in My Delete Later, as far as this album is like Reasonable Doubt being Ho's last album, and we're talking about Jay-Z, one of the greatest rappers of all time. You can't gaslight me. You can't, at the end of the day, gaslight me. That's why I stand on every single thing I said on that album review. Wale's album does have him wiped down. I re-listened. The Starline by Chance the Rapper does have him wiped down. I re-listened. I can have a conversation with y'all and break it down on why. The musicality part. J. Cole still has a lot of growing to do on musicality. I'm sorry. Am I not speaking English? He can't make a fucking song. I tell a Cole fan like Fox that I need a crooked smile. I need something that's going to, like, pacify the listeners in a way if you're not going to go deep with them. You ain't going Mr. Morale deep with them. Mr. Morale still has some records that made me think. Father Time. Man had Kodak Black on there with the Rich interlude. Man had Savior on there. He is not your savior. He is not your savior. Like, these records make you like count me out. I was on that record for a long time on the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers album. I was on that record for a long time. The greatest rapper in the world has self-doubt and stuff going on with him. Cole, what did you give me with that if this was a personal album? If this is how y'all get down in the Ville, this is how y'all get down in the Ville. But guess what, Xavier? I'm from the Bay Area.
Hey.
You gonna need to get a little deeper than that. I'm just saying. Like, how Kendrick hyped up the West Coast and especially the Bay Area in the diss battle that he had and in some of his latest records. I done heard some shit before from niggas down the way here. So if I hadn't heard some shit from niggas down the way here, I can't expect no stuff. If that's what y'all doing in North Carolina, then let me know, and I'll shut up.
See, I'm glad you brought that up.
We were talking about one of the best rappers ever right now. That means you have every resource. And I didn't see every resource being exhibited on this last album. What are you glad that I brought up?
The resurfacing of regional music again. We
Yes.
saw it. We saw it with GNX.
Yes.
We saw it again with Metro Boomin. What was it? Futuristic Summer.
Yeah. Take
When
me
you
through
listen,
there. Take me through
yeah,
that.
and while we did have a conversation about that album too, about maybe I didn't really get it. It wasn't for me. I knew who it was for. I know that this album is probably going up in Atlanta right now.
Yep.
When I listen to GNX, I'm from, like we said, I'm from California, so it resonated with me a lot more. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not from LA, but it made me want to go visit. It made me want to go touch the pulse and see what's popping over there. Metro wanted me to go to Atlanta, go to the skating ring with Sierra.
Right.
He wanted me to
Right.
go to Skate Town. Did the fall off make you want to visit North Carolina?
Hell to the no.
J. Cole don't even want to visit North Carolina. So if this was his take on regional music, dude, like old boy said in our comments, if this was your take on regional music, you only painted Fayetteville in the worst light. You kept telling me
Ooh.
over and over again about how you don't even want to go there. How
Ooh.
you gotta drive around and search for a reason to stay.
Ooh.
Why the hell do I want to go?
Ooh.
I already don't want to go to the South like that.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that was just my whole thing. I feel like that alone was just kind of a misstep, or like a false reading of the room, because we're trying to bring back just the dopeness of regional music. Everybody was just imitating everybody else of what was popular at the moment. Like nobody's giving a fuck about New York in like 20 years at least. And all of the eyes have really just been mainly on the South and on Atlanta, and we're trying to bring it back with the West Coast sound, with the specific sounds of Atlanta. And I thought I would have loved for J. Cole to do the same thing. If he's not going to do it with a feature, like they mentioned in the comments, I'm sure there's a lot of dope producers in Fayetteville that would have
Could have
loved
that could have really just sent this to
just
a whole new level.
yes, because I don't know. I'm not from North Carolina either, nigga, but I don't know if I listened to this album and was like, this sounds like a sound that is distinct to a certain area.
It
It
didn't
literally
sound like
just
that.
sounded like it literally just sounded like J.
J.
Cole.
Cole. Yeah. It just
I,
sounded
I
like
would
J.
think
Cole.
that the biggest regional sound or song on there is the one with PD Pablo.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in that case, you should have just sampled Raise Up.
Hey man, we're off J. Cole. I'm not talking about that nigga no more. Real quick before we get out of here, Xavier, we will save the Baby Keem reaction as far as his album coming out February 20th. I can't wait for that. We'll save that reaction and reaction to the documentary when we meet later on in the week. I wanted to get your opinion on this before we got out of here. Spotify named the 30 classic hip hop and R&B albums from the streaming era. Are you ready for the 30 classic albums from hip hop and R&B from the streaming era? Are you ready for that?
Yes. So what is that, like 2012 to like to 2018?
2012 to now?
Okay, I mean, yeah, okay. I thought they just meant like legit, like streaming and kind of like the
I don't think these
like the
even
SoundCloud era. I was assuming like
yeah.
SoundCloud era.
I don't think any of these are really even that, but let me read this list to you. Let me go pee real quick.
You ain't never been to Skate Town.
Okay. Okay. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I was looking at to see how many double disc hip hop albums there are. I guess there's a lot more
Then you thought?
than I thought, but not really at the same time too, because this the Blueprint's a double disc.
Is it?
Because they were saying, I was looking at the list and they were saying some albums, like they said a Big Crit album was a double disc. And I just looked at that shit. It's not a double disc. So I'm like, because I really was just thinking, like, I know Tupac got one. And
And
I
Biggie
know,
got one.
and Outkast has one.
And Outkast has one.
And that's what I was going to say. I feel like, even with Tupac, he didn't need all them songs. Metro Boomin, his Futuristic Summer, that was a double disc.
Was it?
That's
But it
double, yeah,
was
double
like
disc.
it wasn't that many tracks. Like niggas make double
Exactly.
discs when it be like 7 tracks here, 7 tracks there. Like that's not
Yeah,
a double,
like
that's not
ASAP
real-
Rocky.
right.
His double disc had 2 songs on it.
Right.
2 songs on a double.
That's not really even a double disc.
No, I feel like double disc have to be for either you have like a lot of features, like Chris Brown back in the day, he could have probably broke that up into a double disc instead of just putting 40 songs on a straight.
40 songs, 45 records.
40 songs. But I think you got to be a creative artist, or like Outkast did it perfectly because it was basically just 2 albums under one name. It was a Big Boy album and an Andre 3000 album.
Right.
Because even that, you don't want to listen to. That's a lot.
It's a lot of records.
Yeah,
All right.
Could Michael Jackson do it?
That's a lot of records. That's why that nigga perfected a 9-track album. Like
Kanye was saying,
my shit's gonna be perfect. I have to make it under 10 tracks.
right? Because
If I want it perfect, like if I want 9 bangers, smokers on here, then I can't give you no double disc full of shit. That's watering the motherfucking product right there.
right, like, would you rather go to a restaurant with a 6-sided menu, or you just want to go to somewhere that got a 1 menu, just the front side?
But they
you
know how
exactly
to do
what
that shit.
Yeah, they got their specialties.
Yeah.
They only make shit that they know is gonna be delicious. They ain't trying to do everything. They ain't trying to be We Are the World. They ain't trying to do it all.
Right.
Okay, we're not gonna talk about him no more. Okay.
All right. These 5, 4, 3, 2. These are Spotify's 30 albums. Anderson .Paak, Malibu. Beyonce, Lemonade. Beyonce, Renaissance. Bryson Tiller, Trap Soul. Cleo Soul, Mother. Daniel Caesar. Fred Duran. You know that first album. I don't know how to even say it. I still don't know how to say it. Freddie Gibbs.
Freudian, nigga.
Freudian.
You said Fred Duran?
Freddie Gibbs and Madlib. Bandana.
Is this in order?
I don't think this is in order. I think this.
I was finna say they put Cleo Soul. I love Cleo. They gonna put Cleo over Malibu.
This might be in order, but who knows?
Frank came. This better not be in order.
Frank Ocean.
I need
Blonde.
I need to know before we move on. Is this list in order?
I don't.
Or is this a random songs?
I don't think
because that completely changes. Because like I'm not mad at it so far.
No, these are 30. These are just 30 albums in no order. Frank Ocean, Blonde, Future, DS2, Her, The Internet, Ego, Death, Jay-Z, 444, Jasmine Sullivan, Hotels, Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar, Damn, Lil Uzi Vert versus The World, Migos, Culture, Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap, Playboy Cardi, Die Lit, Rihanna, Anti, Roddy Ricch, Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial, Saba, Care for Me, Solange, A Seat at the Table, Summer Walker, Over It, SZA, Control, Travis Scott, Astro World, Tyler, the Creator, Flower Boy, Igor, and Call Me If You Get Lost, X Tentacion 17. I would have to agree with all these albums. Xavier, all I have to say is if SZA Control is in there, and of course it is, SZA's first album is in there as well.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, SZA's first. I mean, Control is her first album. I'm sorry, but SZA, SOS is in there as well. I don't see SOS in here when SOS broke 1,000,000,000,000,000 records, and SOS has great records on there as well. So Control is on there. SOS needs to be on there.
Right. I don't know if Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial needs to be on there.
Please excuse me.
I think they got Roddy. I think they got that whole album on there.
That needs to be on there, Xavier. 2020. We didn't have nothing in 2020. We only had Roddy. Just put the
box on there. Just put the box on there. Name another song off that album.
The one with Ty Dolla $ign.
Exactly.
He has some shit on there. Stop. That whole album was great. Stop.
I didn't say it was bad. A top 30? Damn.
What did you think about the list?
I'm honestly really not mad at the list. I think those are great pulls from that era. Like I said, really the only questions I would have is if these songs are in order. If they are, we need to do some reshuffling. But they hit on key artists that a lot of people probably wouldn't be thinking about, like a Cleo Soul. I do feel like some of these albums they included because of one song or because of a cultural moment, like The Box, when the entire album might not be a real memorable moment.
You don't like that Roddy album. Anyway,
that was the beginning of the end. That was the beginning of the end for Roddy Kamen. I love Roddy Ricch pre that album. The Box, I hate that song. The video is even worse. I won't let y'all forget. But no, overall, there's definitely been a lot more lists that have missed the mark.
Yes.
I think what they did that maybe other people should start taking into consideration or taking as a little trick is to not put the music in order. Just say, oh yeah, these are 30 songs. Yeah, these are 30 songs we think should be in there. Y'all can put it in whatever order you think. Because, yeah, I think a lot of those songs deserve to be on that list. Now, if they would have put it in order, we probably would have had probably a bigger problem with this. They would have disrespected A Seat at the Table. They would have disrespected Malibu. There's a lot of albums on there that they would have disrespected. As you mentioned, they didn't even include SOS. That don't even make sense to me. Because isn't SOS bigger than Control?
It is bigger than Control. That's what I'm saying. I don't mind this list, but I do think there are some inconsistencies. Now, is Good Kid, Mad City a streaming album? I would say yes. I streamed Good Kid, Mad City. Did you stream Good Kid, Mad City? That was 2012. I would say streaming. For sure. I would say streaming was around right there. So you have Damn and you have To Pimp a Butterfly. You Dang Near Need, Good Kid, Mad City as well. I mean, if I listen to on YouTube, that's streaming in a way.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that's what I did. I listened to all my music on YouTube up until pretty much I graduated high school dang near.
Yeah. Other than anything else I see on this list, I'm looking now. Bryson Tiller, yes, has to be on there. I think Trap Soul was a movement. I also think that there's no Kanye West on this list. The Life of Pablo, as far as what streaming did, that nigga made everybody download Tidal just to listen to The Life of Pablo when it first came out. Like, we're talking about streaming The Life of Pablo, and we're entering the 10-year anniversary. Can you believe that, Xavier? We're entering the 10-year anniversary of The Life of Pablo. Definitely needs to be on there. I think that was one of Kanye's stronger albums. Of course, he was on a 6 album streak, and let me look right now.
It didn't end with that.
I don't think it did, and that's what I'm saying with this. Like, if you have Kanye West and you have a yes for some of these albums, as far as The College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, 808s and Heartbreaks, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Watch the Throne, Yeezus, 7 records, then you have 8 with The Life of Pablo. I would say, if you don't count Watch the Throne, which was a collab album, then he has 6, and now he has 7. Great classic in my estimation. I still think Life of Pablo is a classic just because of the era, just because of some of the music on there, just because some of the verses that we got. I do think that was a classic album as well. You have to continue that onto the Kanye great list. So I think the Life of Pablo should be on there for the streaming era as well. There's no Forest Hills Drive. There's no Views by Drake. There's no Take Care by Drake that came out in 2011. Do you find any of that surprising as well?
I do, but if they were going with trying to only select a few songs per year, I could see maybe. Still, Drake is viewed as the biggest, if one of the biggest pop stars,
He has to have
especially
something.
during that. See, exactly, especially during that streaming era. So I would have expected at least one project, but the fact that we have 0 projects from Cole or Drake, yet 2 from Kendrick, is just gonna feel a lot more hate online towards the Kendrick community. But I mean, you wanted Forest Hill Drive to be on there.
It needs to be, I feel like.
What would it have taken over?
That's the question. Because what spot would SOS have taken over? Now I have to start deleting some stuff. And am I going to
delete
Playboy Cardi?
Delete Roddy Ricch.
Stop, man. Let's
Delete
go back.
Roddy Ricch.
Hold on. Let's go back.
We can't delete Playboy Cardi because that album plays a bigger picture in his totality of his career. Playboy Cardi, like Uzi, are 2 of the biggest artists we have right now.
He got high fashion on there too, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Right. I forgot you like these TikTok songs, bro. I do like Boneyard. Let's go for this long rap. Hey. Hey.
That was a popular record, bro.
This is just my Shaq mentality. This is Shaq, and Roddy Ricch is Dwight Howard. I'm about to bully him into greatness. Roddy, come outside. Stop
delaying your album. Stop delaying your album.
Ruining. Yeah, you're ruining your own career. Yeah. I don't know what's going on in the background. Maybe it's some deal stuff, but when I hear you on other people's records, you was on Beeman with some dude named after a weapon, and that song was so good. I don't understand Roddy Ricch's mentality of why he needs to keep pushing this album. Scared of what? Of what? If you go back and listen to his catalog, that boy is valid. He's solid.
Nice. He's nice.
And I'm talking mess about please excuse me for being antisocial, but like you said, it has bops on there.
Yeah, I agree.
Roddy Ricch, he be making me upset.
I agree. But you know,
I thought we would have for sure got that before the fall off. Like 100%.
Hopefully we get some Roddy Ricch this year. But that was Spotify's top 30 R&B and hip-hop albums. I think a very, very solid list, as you would agree, is a very, very, very solid list. Surprising to not see some names on there, but hey. But yeah.
Was Lemonade on there?
Lemonade was on there, right? Lemonade was.
I can't remember what Beyonce project you said.
Lemonade and Renaissance. Okay. Yeah, Lemonade and Renaissance.
Dang, they put Renaissance on there, but not a Drake project. Ugh. Hey, shout out Queen B. Ugh.
Views deserves to be on there, but you know, Views deserves to be on there. And this one too, SOS deserves. This album right here, Xavier, like. Bar none, some of SZA's best work. I think the thriller of her career, if I were not to say that, and Off the Wall to me was Michael's. I love Off the Wall more than I love Thriller, but doesn't matter because that's what this is. Like for
Right.
SZA, this is what Thriller was. But anyway,
Yeah, SZA super fans aren't the only people that listen to SZA. So like this is definitely the album that positioned her as a
there you go.
pop icon.
There you
But
go.
it's like and honestly, you could just take your pick of what type of SZA you like. Do you like earthy, ashy SZA? Listen to Control. If you like more poppy, bubblegum SZA, but still has those backpack abilities,
Listen
then
to
listen to
SOS.
SOS.
There you go. There you go. Pick your poison. But this is everyday hip hop. Looking forward to hearing that Jill Scott
Yeah.
album reaction. Of course, we'll get into some Baby Keem stuff and some other things going on in the landscape of music. But we out of here right now. My name is Cayman.
And I'm Xavier.
All right, y'all. Peace. Make sure you like and subscribe on the bottom.